Okay, I hope you're still with me. So we're looking at Alexa presentation language video skills. This is the third part. The first part we saw simply how we can add a video to our APL design. The second part we saw how to integrate that with our code and how to data bind the movies that we've got with our APL code. We saw it would automatically go from one video onto the next as well. So what we could do now is we need to add some play and pause controls. Now these are called Alexa transport controls. So there's more information about them here. There's various designs. You can just have skip and play. And obviously, they've all got a play and pause button, but the other two buttons are either skip next or previous, or you can skip 10 seconds or 30 seconds buttons. You can design a bit around those as well. Of course, remember you should add voice controls for all these as well, and we'll do that in the next video. So we're going to work on a new JSON. What I've suggested here is you go to your multimodal responses, clone your original JSON, and edit the clone, and I've called it control. So if you remember what we did, we added this Alexa layouts version 1.5, which gives us the access to this Alexa transport control. So you can either add the GUI view or the transport control code view to add it, as we saw in the first video. So we'll just show you how you might want to do that. I've already added it here, so we can look at the code view. Here's our container. Here's our video control. We've got a couple of items that will run when we execute them, so a couple of commands that will run. And here's the transport control itself. So the transport control, if I want to add one, let's go to a GUI view, we go to the container, we add the component, we add a child component, and then we scroll all the way down here somewhere to Alexa transport control. Gone too far. There it is there. So you could just click that and add it. So we don't want to do that because I've already got it. So I've put that under the video. So there's our video and there's our transport control. That's why I put this originally at 80%. You might want it not so big. Okay, so what do you do? So we've added that. Oh yeah, just to make sure I've got the height right, and I've just got the Alexa transport control centered. So if we look at the code view for that, that's what we've got. Now I've also added the media component that it's going to control, because there might be more than one media component on here. So I've got the video player ID, which refers to this video player ID, which is this video component here. And it's also got a play pause toggle button ID, which is what we use when we press the pause button. When the on pause happens, we set the value of this component ID, i.e. the play pause toggle button, checked value to false if it's on pause, or to true if it's on play. So we've just added these couple of commands that run when this button is clicked. So that's all there is to that. You can actually try it here, of course, in your preview mode. You can stop and start. You can go to the next track. Oh, and not autoplay, of course. This next track actually is the full butt video. So we get some music with that. Or you can go to the next one. That's right, see it's stopped. So you can start and stop, or we can go back and back. So it works okay in the preview mode. So what we need to do is we need to copy all of this code and put this into our Python code. So we look at the code here. This time, instead of this simple template, I've got this controls JSON here, and it's the same as that one. So we've got our payload, our items. It always annoys me that they don't put the item at the top. Oh, this has got a slider on it as well. Right, that might confuse you, but we'll worry. Oh, let's just try this video layout, Json, see what this one's got then. Yeah, so there's the container, there's the video, and here's the transport controls. We'll come back and I'll show you what the slider is in a minute. Okay, so we can pick up this Json from our code instead. So I've just got a shortcut here, and I'm going to use the video. I'm going to save and deploy, and I'll just pause whilst it's doing that. Okay, so it's actually deployed, but we'll just see how it matches with the code I've got. So the height of the components, I've added the video control, the on-play and on-pause controls that I've mentioned. There's the code that we've looked at, the JSON that we've looked at before, and that's simply the Alexa transport control. So here's the full APL that I'm using for this one with the play pause controls and the transport controls. Okay, then we'll come on to adding a slider in a minute. So we'll just show you that that works. So we now pick up this video layout JSON, that's this one, which has just simply got the transport controls from our code. So again, we'll just run a test.
Say hello to play a video.
Skill.io, don't want that. And so now we've got it within our code. Seems a bit big for my liking, but as you can see, oh, we've still got the original data source, so that hasn't got the full bug video running on it there. You can see that we've got controls over our, and always seems to take a long time to start. Oh, sorry, there it is. So we've got controls over our video here now. Okay, so that looks good. What would be nice would be pick up a slider. So I'll just talk you through the adding a progress slider here, and then we'll go, show you it running. So what this will do is this will actually show you the progress of the video as it plays, but the user can also drag the bar to go back to the beginning or change settings. So there's a good slider example here within the developer code. This updates text as the user moves the thumb, as well as a button to reset the slider. So basically, if the slider uses milliseconds, you need the total value to be picked up, you need the progress value will be shown, and then obviously the slider thumb position, which will be different from the progress value. So again, we tend to clone your skills. I've called it slider, and add a slider under the transport controls. So let's just show you that. Yeah, so if I go back to multimodal responses, go to visual, go to slider. I'll get there in the end. And this time, it's not obvious here, but I've got the container, we've got our video, we've got our transport control, and we've got our slider. And here's the slider on the screen. Okay, maybe it's a bit high, but you can always modify the height and width for you. So what we've got in our code then now is we've got our items. This all the way down here somewhere it will say container, and the container's got our video. If you remember, our video had an on pause and an on play. Now we've got a bit more code on here. we've got an on-track update and an on-time update. So when the track updates, the video total value is picked up from the event duration that you get from this event happening. And when you get the track updates, you also set the value of the video progress value to 0. So they are in the slider down here. Here's our data bound video progress value, our video total value. And the slider thumb position is not bound. And then when the on-up command occurs, it sends a control media command to do a seek to this position, to the new position. So that will control your video. And then here is the bindings for the slider thumb position, progress value, and the total value within the container. Okay, so I think I've explained all that here. On play, on track update, on command, what we do and how we operate the slider. So you can read through that and I'll just show you it all working. We can obviously try it here again. You can see the slider going as the first video progresses. It's changed slightly now so that it plays automatically. We get an autoplay. I've just changed that the code. We can start and stop that. We can skip through the video. And we can start and stop these as well. So let's just see how that goes, how that works in our code. So we've now called it slider. We'll go back to our code. And this time, oh, it's called control. I think it's called controls. Here is this controls. Just check that it's got everything that we had before. Yes, it's got the bound. It's got the on-up command. And it's got the set values for the slider. And it's got the play pause button item. So that's controls. We'll just modify the code so it picks up the right Json. That's this one here. And I'll pause the video while it's deploying. Okay, so I'm back at the code. I've just also slightly modified the code so it does include that full length big bunny video just to show that they're the same as what I'm doing in the APL examples. So I've deployed it. Remember this time we're picking up controls JSON, and the controls JSON has got all of this bound code, progress slider code, these events, on time update, on track update, which is sent by the device itself, and our on pause and our on play events. So we can test this and see what we get. Okay, just pause there when I was trying to get rid of this personalization screen. Makes it a bit better.
Say hello to play a video.
And now we should play our video. Here's our first video, and we can forward, play, we can pick up the slider, which will get us to a new position, and go on to the next one. Stop and start the video, go back, play. So we've got quite good full controls on here, except of course we haven't got any voice control, which is mostly what Alexa's all about. So we'll look at that in the next video. Hope you're still with us by then.